first thing that we did was to bring back hand-drawn animation to the studio. I always said the studio that should be continuing this amazing art form of hand-drawn animation is a studio that started in the first place at Walt Disney Animation Studios. So we asked back to the studio two of my really good friends, the directors of The Little Mermaid and Aladdin, John Musker and Ron Clements, and asked them to come up with some ideas. And they came up with this amazing new retelling, a twist on The Frog Prince. It's called The Princess and the Frog. It's coming to theaters this holiday season. And to tell you more about it, ladies and gentlemen, the directors, John Musker and Ron Clements.
Yeah, they're here. Yeah.
John Musker, and that's Ron.
I'm John Musker. And in fact, I have the unique privilege of, I actually went to school with John Lasseter at Cal Arts. I was in the same class. And in fact, his specialty was tacos. If you guys catch him after the thing, he had a very secret recipe from his mother, I think.
That's right, my mother, yes, okay. My mother's taco recipe.
Okay, so ask him about it afterwards. Yeah. It'll be on the DVD extras, you'll find it there. So we want to talk today about The Princess and the Frog. We're very excited to have this. It's a return for us to the, it's been 4 years in the making. It's a return to the classic fairy tale. It's been a long time since Disney's done a fairy tale, and we thought it was about time, as did John. And so we wanted to give it a twist, though. We didn't want it to be sort of something we had done before. So we wanted to do this as an American fairy tale. And we set this in the city of New Orleans, jazz-age New Orleans. It's a wonderful town. It's gone through some tough times, and we're anxious to see New Orleans come back. Our story is set many years ago in the 20s, but John's favorite city in America.
Yeah, I love New Orleans and been down there quite a bit. And there's no more magical place on this continent. And so when they set it in there, because it has everything. It's got music, it's got magic, it's got the bayou, it's French Quarter, you know, it's amazing.
It's got all these cross-cultural influences from the Caribbean and from France and Spain and all that. So that is the setting of the movie. Of course, we did a spin on the archetypal elements of a fairy tale. We do have a beautiful princess. Our princess, her name is Tiana, but she's unlike some of these. Yes, Tiana, let's hear it for Tiana. She, unlike some of the princesses, is really not, romance isn't first on her list. Actually, she was instilled with this dream as a kid from her father to someday to dream big, open her own restaurant. She has this. She's grown up under tough circumstances. She overcomes a lot. In fact, her voice, of course, she's a dreaming girl, is voiced by a dream girl. It's Anika Noni Rose, who, if you've seen Dreamgirls, the one with Eddie Murphy, that's Anika. And if you saw the Ladies' Home Detective Agency, wonderful job, the secretary, that check that out, HBO. So she's our princess. Of course, you got to have a handsome prince. We have one, Prince Naveen of Macedonia. Don't look for the country on any map. We made the country up. It does not exist. And voiced by Bruno Campos, who's a wonderful young actor of Brazilian descent, who you may have seen on Nip and Tuck. And of course, you got to have an evil, a wicked witch, and we have our own. Except in this case, it's a tarot reading practitioner in the French Quarter, Dr. Facilier, who does these fortunes and knows a little bit about voodoo, and he is voiced by the silky tones of Keith David, if you know Keith David. So we're thrilled to have him. And of course, the great thing about this movie is we have an opportunity now to have all of them not only act, but also to sing.
That's right. Among the many returns this movie represents is the return of the Disney animated musical. This film is, in fact, a bona fide musical with characters singing and expressing their thoughts and feelings to each other right on screen. It has choreography, big dance numbers, big production numbers. It features 7 original songs by the great Randy Newman, who Randy actually grew up in New Orleans, so he really knows the territory. And the style of the songs is sort of 1920s New Orleans, ranging from jazz and Dixieland to gospel and Zydeco. They're wonderful songs, and you'll hear one of those songs today, in fact. But aside from that, as John mentioned earlier, I think one of the most thrilling aspects of this movie is the return of Disney hand-drawn animation. Disney had kind of gotten away from hand-drawn animation for a while, and it's really, really great for us to sort of bring it back. Because while we love digital animation and are huge, huge fans, especially films like the Pixar films, we feel like there's something that is very warm and romantic and magical about hand-drawn animation, and it felt very right for the story we're telling in this movie. And we have an all-star cast of animators. We got just a great cast, including Mark Hinn, who animated Ariel and Belle and Jasmine and Mulan, and he in fact is doing our Princess Tiana, and he's doing a fabulous job. And we also have Eric Goldberg, who animated the Genie in Aladdin, a fantastic animator, and he's doing our jazz performing alligator, Louis. And Andreas Deja, who is mostly known for the villains, he's done Gaston and Jafar and Scar. In this case, he's not doing the villain, he's doing our voodoo fairy godmother, Mama Odie, who's 200 years old. He's also doing her seeing-eye snake, Juju. And our villain, in fact, is done by a terrific animator, Bruce Smith, who animated Kerchak and Tarzan, and is also the creator of the Proud Family. And he's done a fantastic job on Facilier, and you'll see some of Facilier in what we're going to show. And we have a Levsic Cajun firefly, Ray, who's being animated by Mike Suri, who did Timon in Lion King. And our Prince Naveen, is being animated by Randy Haycock, a fantastic animator. He did Clayton and Tarzan and Young Hercules, and does a really, really great job.
So we've got this all-star cast, and we've sort of brought together these artists, and we wanted to share some of the movie with you. So we're actually going to show you 8 minutes of footage, finished footage from the film.
This footage has never been seen anywhere.
Yes.
So you're the first to see this.
Right. The pictures here, the sound, the mix is a temporary mix, so it'll get all that much better when we do the final mix. But we've got 2 sequences to show you, and the first of these sequences features one of the songs by Randy Newman, Friends on the Other Side. And you know, of course, the story's about a princess, but of course, we have our bad guy, Dr. Facilier. So this is his big sort of set piece in the only part of the film. And just to set it up very briefly, our gregarious prince, Prince Naveen, has come to New Orleans, and he's a big jazz man, but he's kind of a playboy, and he's loose with his money, and he's kind of burned through the family fortune. He comes there seeking not only to hear where jazz was born, but maybe woo a rich Southern girl, maybe he can restore the money that's lost through all that. He's accompanied by his stuffy valet, Lawrence, who's this British pompous guy, hates jazz, he only likes the waltz, and they sort of get embroiled in a little escapade in the French Quarter here, whereupon they are set upon by our villain, Dr. Facilier. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Facilier here in The Princess and the Frog.
Changed into a frog as a result of this, and he encounters her and persuades her, and she's reluctant about it, but he persuades her to kiss him. Unfortunately, because she's not actually a princess at this point, the spell backfires, and Tiana is in fact turned into a frog, and the 2 of them together become lost in the Louisiana bayou. While they're there, they meet Louis, this alligator who loves to play jazz. He's almost as good as Louis Armstrong. And he tells them about Mama Odie, the old voodoo priestess who lives deep in the bayou and has magic, and they figure Mama Odie might be able to solve their problems. So they go on a journey to see Mama Odie, and during that they meet a new character called Ray, very important character in our movie, and that's where this next clip will pick up. I think the very end of this clip actually has a little bit of black and white, which reflects the fact that we're actually not finished yet. We're still working on the movie right now, but it's going very, very well, and it'll all be in color, hopefully soon. Here we go.